guys. You are listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710, and I'm your host, Vasavi Kumar. And guess what? You can now listen to us not just on 710 AM, but also on 103.7 FM. Woohoo to expansion. So the last week we talked about getting what you want in your life in spite of your circumstances. You know, I shared a very personal story about having been diagnosed with bipolar disorder for 10 years. And it is a lifelong condition. And not letting that label or diagnosis get in my way of creating the life that I desire. And you can too. And I'm going to tell you how I'm going to support you in getting that life. And just in case you missed out on some of the lessons I have learned throughout my journey, you know, really turning my wounds into wisdom. Here they are. And these are just a few of them that really sit with me on a day-to-day basis. Nothing can stop you from having what you want in your life, being who you want to be in your life, and doing what you want in life. The company you keep will make or break how far you go in life. And by far, I'm not referring to the monetary success. What I am referring to is how you expand as a human being, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally. Absolutely nothing can define you except you. I had to learn this the hard way because for so long I allowed people, circumstances, my childhood, my past, my diagnosis to truly define who I was. And I lived my life according to these labels. And I think the last point that I really want to get across is, you know, if you're in the journey of really truly discovering who you are, don't let self-help become shelf-help. What I mean by that is insight without action equals no results. So really, you got to take all that you're learning about yourself and you got to get in action, which is why I've created the Source of Your Success coaching group. It is for male and female entrepreneurs who really on the outside, they're a rock star. Everyone thinks you're great. You know, just, I mean, if this is you, I want you to tune in, right? So you're that highly motivated person that has a passion for life. Even when your life is good, you want it to be great. You want to deepen your connection with your spiritual self and align your mind and body. You want to own your greatness and your power and watch as it transforms your life. You do recognize, this is where that humility piece comes in. You recognize the need for change and you're not afraid of hard work. I'm very clear about the kind of people that I work with. If you're not going to take the action, if you're not going to implement what we're working on in our coaching group or even one-on-one, you're wasting your money and both of our time. So this is really for the person who wants to implement and take radical action in their life. You also have a lot of pent-up energy stemming from a deep desire to move forward, but a lack of direction causes this energy to frustrate and distract you. So what I'm describing right now is the type of person that would be perfect for my Source of Your Success coaching group, okay? You want to work harder and you want to go the extra mile, but you're not sure which path will lead you to transformation and alignment. You know, when I first started my business, I had something that I heard one of my mentors say as the BSOS, which is the bright, shiny object syndrome. See, what happens is when you start out as an entrepreneur, you have absolutely no focus because as entrepreneurs, we're so creative. I have crazy amounts of energy. Okay, I'm sure you guys know that. But what I needed was that mentor, was that community to really help me focus. Okay, Vasavi, so if you put your energy in these two projects, then we could start rolling out programs that actually serve humanity and also bring in that income that you're looking for. So that's really what I've learned in my journey in my business, and that's what I want to help you with. Also, a lot of your issues could be that you just self-sabotage as a way of hiding your light and your true potential. That's all self-sabotage is. It's your ego's way of having you stay small and insignificant in your life so that you do not shine brightly. Okay? And deep down, you may fear your own greatness. And sometimes you feel as though you're fighting the same problem over and over and you can't figure out why or what you need to do to move past it. So this is for you. if this is resonating with you, then you really need to be in my Source of Your Success coaching group. You can learn more. I can definitely give you some more information. So email info@vasavikumar.com. And if you just want to have a conversation to see if you're a good fit, give me a call at 913-951-1764. Today is an awesome day. You are in for sheer brilliance and wisdom, so sit back and just be open to receive. My guest is John Gray, the best-selling relationship author of all time, and he is the most trusted voice in relationships today. Many of you know that he is the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And on a personal level, when I first got married, that was the book that my husband and I read because we needed some help. So I'm very grateful to my dad if he's listening. Thank you for sending us that book within our first month of marriage. So, guys, don't go anywhere. We are going to be talking about relationships, men, women, the whole gamut. So just stay put. Okay, so you're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO, Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. Don't go anywhere.
KCMO Talk Radio 710, now on FM at 103.7. Hear Dave Ramsey at his new time, weekdays 9 to 11.
Now, some of you send me emails and say things like, Dave Ramsey just calls people stupid. No, I call the things they do stupid. And I'm one of you people, by the way. I've done plenty of stupid. I have a PhD in DUMB. And so never confuse when you're listening to this show when I'm calling a situation or even a person stupid. Really what I'm saying is that that's a stupid activity.
The Dave Ramsey Show, only on KCMO.
You own or operate a business. You know you need to advertise, but you have questions. You aren't sure where to turn. There's a free resource that can help. CumulusRadio.com. CumulusRadio.com has the answers that will help you decide where to advertise, what to say, and how to say it. This free resource has helped thousands of business owners and operators make the right choices, and it can help you find your answers too. CumulusRadio.com. You know your business. We know marketing. CumulusRadio.com.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies, and rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, for a man age 45 non-tobacco user, it's $1 million of coverage and $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Termbusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-862-8376. That's 1-800-862-8376. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Termbusters at 1-800-862-8376 or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-862-8376. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Do you want to lose all your money? Well, I've got some bad news for you. The stock market is a rigged game, and it's rigged against you. What Wall Street doesn't want you to know is that there is a way you can protect and grow your wealth. The people using this approach didn't lose a penny when the market crashed in 2000 or 2008, and they won't lose a penny in the next crash. In fact, their money will continue to grow safely year in and year out, even when stocks, real estate, and other investments tumble. A free report detailing this savings program is now available. This free report shows how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and wealth-building power without risking your retirement in the Wall Street casino. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement. It far outperforms any IRA or 401k. To get this free report, visit bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
Grandpa!
Hey, there he is. Come on up here and sit down on the porch with me.
I love staying here. How long have you lived here?
A long time. You know, your mother grew up here.
I'm gonna have a house like this when I grow up.
I hope so, buddy. I hope so.
For the first time in generations, the dream of home ownership is being threatened. Realtors, members of the National Association of Realtors, are here to represent you and protect home ownership. Visit houselogic.com/home ownership to learn more.
Hey there, you've reached Claire. Leave me a message. Claire, it's Anne. Hey, you know that hormone balancing product we talked about before? The all-natural one, Amberen? Well, I gotta tell you this. Not only did Amberen stop my hot flashes, but since I started the Amberen program, I have lost so much weight. Seriously, even my belly fat, it's gone. I haven't been this thin in years. I feel great. Give me a call.
The leading cause of weight gain in women over 40 is hormonal imbalance. Until you balance your hormones, it can be practically impossible to lose weight. Amberen restores hormonal balance naturally, so the weight can just fall off. Yes, even that stubborn belly fat. Plus, Amberen eliminates other symptoms of hormonal aging too. So with your hormones in balance, you can feel great and finally lose the weight. Be one of the first 50 callers right now, and they'll send you a complimentary risk-free trial with a 30-day supply, free. Call 1-800-932-3468. That's 1-800-932-3468. 1-800-932-3468.
Now it's even easier to be a great American. Sean Hannity, weekdays 2 to 5 on Kansas City's talk station, KCMO Talk Radio 710, now at 103.7 FM.
Welcome back. You're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710. And now you can also listen to us on 103.7 FM, so spread the word. And today we are going to be talking all about relationships with Mr. Relationship himself, John Gray. We're going to be talking about men, women, the birds and the bees. Everything you have ever wanted to know about relationships will be answered here. You know, I have a list of questions that I'm excited to bounce off our guest, John Gray, today. He can handle it, okay? And in case you don't know this, John Gray, he's the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. If you haven't gotten his book, it is an absolute classic and won't ever go out of style. It has sold over 50 million copies in 50 different languages across the globe. He's the relationship expert. He's a fountain of wisdom when it comes to men and women and how they interact. What I love about this, it's not just how they interact, how they speak to each other. It's on an emotional and mental level, but even down to a hormonal and spiritual level. So it is my honor to welcome my guest today, Dr. John Gray. Welcome to Deep Talk, Dr. John Gray.
Well, it's a great pleasure for me, too. Thank you.
The first question is from a woman that I know that I've worked with. She's a woman in business. She has her own business, and she wants to know, how do I balance the role of a mother and a wife and a businesswoman when I'm the breadwinner?
Generally speaking, when a woman is making more money than a man, a primary wage owner or wage maker, there's no traditional ground for a man to feel successful in the relationship. So there has to be a new way to identify why is he needed, what role does he have, and is it a valued role? Men need to feel valued just like women need to feel valued, but we tend to feel valued in different ways. To communicate that value to a man means to ask him to do things and make sure to appreciate and acknowledge what he did, rather than what women commonly do. And I'm not saying all women do it, but it's men notice this, which is women assume that men should just do it. And he would just do it if he had role models of men doing it, but he doesn't. So there's a lot of learning for us to bring balance into our life, and we shouldn't just assume our partner is going to pick up the slack. We should understand that we have to be sort of reconditioned as men if we're not going to be the major providers.
Okay, so I have to be very transparent with you that question that I asked you, it was from a client of mine, but I actually experienced the same thing in my marriage. John?
Well, I think many women listening today would relate to that.
Yes, and one thing that you just said that I don't want to say I'm guilty of, I'm just ignorant to, is that I have just expected my husband to just do it. And the one thing he has requested of me is, if you ask me, I will do it, but I am not a mind reader.
That's right, and women just have to understand that one way of understanding it is that we just, as males, we haven't been conditioned. A major part of our activities, our natural motivations inside, are conditioning that we see as little children, and it just goes in, and that's how we behave. So when a man feels successful, that's the bottom line for them, is constant messages and opportunities to feel successful. So if you say, hey, John, would you move that an inch? and I do it, I don't feel that proud or that successful. But if you were to say, oh, look what he did, I couldn't do that, that's so helpful, then suddenly that little job becomes an important job. So without patronizing either sex, why do women need men today, particularly in the role that you're talking about, a can-do woman who's doing everything? One of the biggest needs that a woman has for a man is the need to have a man so that she doesn't have to do it all. And when a man gets that message that she truly appreciates that because of him, she doesn't have to do it all, that then gives him a significant role in her life.
I often come across two types of women. The first type of woman is the woman who is the breadwinner, and her view of men is, I don't need a man. Okay? And then I come across another type of woman who's not the breadwinner, who is afraid to take any sort of forward-moving steps because she's overly reliant on her husband.
Everybody wants to feel valued in whatever relationship they're in. And if you have the attitude, I don't need a man, what man wants to be in a relationship with you?
He doesn't want you either.
Yeah. I mean, what woman wants to be with a man who says, I don't need a woman?
Yeah, exactly.
There was one polarity, which you described as the woman will say who, in one extreme of that polarity, is completely dependent on a man and is not fulfilled. You see, in my family, I'm the major provider. My wife's financial security is really dependent upon me going to work. I could not do what I've done today without the help of my wife. If I wanted to just be a workaholic and have no children and no family and no personal life, I could do that alone. I do not need her for that. But if I want to have the richness of my life, I look around, I have a beautiful home and a garden and children and a neighborhood and a life and a sexual fulfilling life with someone that I grow in love with. These are huge things I need her for. On the other hand, she creates a beautiful life. She can be all kinds of roles, and I help to provide that for her so that she can have that lifestyle. So this is an interdependent relationship. Interdependent relationships are not for everybody, but for those that want to get married, that's what a marriage is. It's a partnership where you share your life together. There's an interdependence, and that's where these gender differences show up the most. So here you are in this relationship with a man, or many women who are very independent, then they get with a guy, and if they happen to make more money than the guy, there's a whole list of new challenges that are before them in the relationship. And you hit the nail on one of them that I brought up, which is there's the assumption that you've been working all day, why doesn't he do these things? Mm-hmm. And he's going, well, if you want me to do it, ask me to do it, let me know. And there's even more sophistication to that, which is when women do ask men, they often ask, like, how many times do I have to ask you, or I shouldn't have to ask you. There's an attitude, not necessarily every woman, but there's an attitude that can go with it that feels dismissive to a man and makes him not want to do things and makes him kind of feel passive. So if you understand men, sort of the whole dynamic of the male thinking, it's if somebody else can do it, why should I? And women don't have that attitude as much. For a woman, it's kind of like, well, if I'm needed, let me go and do it. If I'm needed, let me go do it. But men, it's kind of like, I'm going to do those things that I have to do. So make sure it's the important thing to do, it's a have to do, and then I'll do it. And how do we know that something is a have to do? Is by the response we get at the end of the goal, when we set the goal. If we do something and we get a big result, we know, oh, that's a big important thing. Which is why it's so central for men, particularly as our roles are changing, to have communication in a relationship with their wife where the wife is aware that she needs this man so that she can let him know what she needs and let him know how important he is to her and to be able to appreciate him for that. So this is not putting on makeup. This is not just following instructions from me. It's a real feeling inside of her that she has to find. It's a feminine part of her, which is often scary to acknowledge because you might feel weak.
I often feel like men get the short end of the stick. I do. I think a lot of times when I'm hanging out with girlfriends or whatever, they just kind of get together in packs and complain about their husbands. Now, I don't complain about my husband because I am blessed that I actually know how to communicate with him and vice versa. But I'm wondering, like, I feel like something is missing in society. Like, I feel like men really get this negative stereotype put on them. But what I'm hearing you say, and this is just my own interpretation, that it could be that women really don't know how to communicate properly with men.
Oh, clearly. There's an illusion out there that women are the, quote, better communicators.
Right.
I don't see that at all. Yeah. What I see women is being aware of the problem more so than men. So women are able to, complain more about it, so to speak. But when it comes to actually listening to men without being argumentative or without putting a resistance in front of them and so forth, I don't see them any better than men. But you'll see in my books there's a leaning towards teaching men to listen and not as much focus on women because it's harder. It's a harder step for women to take. It's easier for men to learn to listen than for women to learn to listen.
Well, I think what you just said, that it is for women, you just said that for them to tap into their more feminine side, it can make them feel weak. And what you just said was women are aware of what's going on. I mean, this is so brilliant. You guys, I mean, wow. Women are aware, but maybe the reason why they don't actually communicate what's really going on is because, they would feel weak and they would feel extremely vulnerable. So then they do this other thing, which is totally coming from a place of power and ego, as opposed to just surrendering and just expressing what it is that they really need.
Yeah, no, that's beautifully put.
It's so interesting, right? Because we live in such an interdependent society, yet we think we live in a bubble. We wake up, we walk out of the house, there are people around us, right? But I think part of the reason why it's so hard for women and men to ask for support or ask for what they need, it goes back to that vulnerability piece. But it also goes, I think, in the American culture, strength is determined by how much of it you can do on your own.
Yes. Now I understand what you meant by a bubble. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, over and over, critics of our society and social commentaries have talked about the woes of our society as our disconnection. The strengths of our society is our independence and freedom. So, what you're talking about is trying to find that balance. And clearly in America, we swung way too far to the independent side of things, and we're trying to find that balance.
Do you, after reading What You Feel, You Can Heal, I mean, I absolutely loved that book. It was.
Thank you. It was the first book I've written. It was wonderful.
Are you serious? That was. Oh my God. Well, I got to just tell you, it was. I love the little cartoons in there.
Yeah, isn't that great? Well, before I'll just let everybody know, it's still every page has got a cartoon.
Yeah.
What I didn't know then that I know now is how to remedy ADD. ADD is a big phenomenon. It's increasing more and more. And I was of the type of ADD which is hyper-focused. So once I get on one point, I stay on that point. And I could not change the topic. So what I did is that's becoming extremely left-brained. So as I'm writing the book, I would write for a while, and I get stuck on that topic. Then I say, okay, I'm going to draw a funny cartoon. And that caused me to use my right brain, which got me to shift to another point, which was very interesting. So I illustrated the book. And gradually I learned to balance both hemispheres of my brain, so I don't have that problem. But in the beginning, I just couldn't follow through.
Well, this is just great stuff here, okay? I mean, my God, between What You Feel, You Can Heal, and just really talking about how we communicate with one another. And I'm really I love that interdependent piece. And, this is exactly why I started the Source of Your Success coaching group. What I always felt was missing for me was community. I think that often, just like I said, in society, we kind of walk around like, okay, I'm all alone here. But we live in a society where we need one another. And the minute you surrender to that fact and start relying on other people and communicating what your needs are, I really think that's when awesome things can happen personally and professionally. So guys, if you want to learn more about the Source of Your Success coaching group, the Source of Your Success website will be up next Wednesday. But in the meantime, you can email me at info@vasavikumar.com. If you just want to have a conversation with me about it, just to see if it's a good fit, if you're a woman, if you're an entrepreneur, and this stuff is resonating with you, you realize that you do need to learn how to communicate. Ask for what you need. That's one of the biggest problems that women face in business and in their personal life is just, asking for what you need. So that's all that stuff that we're going to be talking about, working on in our coaching group. So we are going to, when we come back, we're going to keep talking about What You Feel, You Can Heal, one of my favorite books. And so don't go anywhere. You're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710. And now 103.7 FM. Don't go anywhere.
Get out of the routine and start your day with the KCMO Morning Show.
She said, I'm having contractions. They said, all right, let's get in the car. They got in the car, they loaded everything up. Wait, she gets out of the car. They had the neighbors help, and they delivered a healthy baby boy in the driveway. I know my wife listens. She's like, man, if I could have a baby in the driveway, 30-minute delivery, man.
Sounds like a pizza.
I'm telling you.
Greg Knapp, mornings 5 to 9 on KCMO Talk Radio 710. Now on FM at 103.7.
Fox News Radio, I'm Liz White. A homicide discovered today. A few barns away from the Kentucky Derby winner's stall.
Louisville police confirmed that a man was killed at Churchill Downs in the same stable area where the horses that ran yesterday's Kentucky Derby have been staying. The body was found before dawn by a member of the security team at the track, only hours after 165,000 people attended the Kentucky Derby.
Fox Radio's Ron Flatter, no suspect, no arrest in the case. Stalled tactics by the defendants made for a marathon hearing for 5 9/11 suspects at Guantanamo Bay. James Harrington is one of the defense attorneys.
They're entitled to a fair trial, and it's our obligation to try and get them a fair trial. And it's going to be very difficult, given the constraints that we're under and the rules in these commissions to accomplish that.
The chief prosecutor says the case could go on for years as the defense files hundreds of challenges. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Your KCMO forecast from KCTV5.
50% chance for thunderstorms today, especially this afternoon and evening. Some storms could be severe. We'll have one more July-like day today with a high around 84. Thunderstorms are forecast to continue this evening before coming to an end early Monday morning. We'll return to normal for most of the week ahead with quiet high temperatures in the 70s. I'm KCTV5 meteorologist Tom Wars.
Today's deal at Venture Oasis Water Park, 56% off. Go to SweetJack.com and grab the kids for a day on the water slides at Adventure Oasis.
Sweet Jack, now that's a real sweet deal.
SweetJack.com.
If you are a homeowner, business owner, or a property manager, and you have an old leaky roof, or your building was hit by a recent storm event, you could be entitled to a new roof. And best of all, the whole process can be hassle-free if you know how to evaluate your roofing contractor. Let me explain. Last year, the Better Business Bureau received over 2 million inquiries regarding the trustworthiness of roofing companies. That's more than any other industry. Here at JR & Company, we believe the standards and values of most roofing contractors are in serious decline. And that's why we protect you by providing a comprehensive roofing standards guide. This guide will teach you what kind of warranty to look for, what type of insurance they need to carry, what specific licensing is required, why they need to be bonded, and much more. Don't fall victim to an inexperienced or fly-by-night contractor. Call us or visit our website today to receive your free roofing standards report. When you know the facts, you can be sure you're working with a reliable, respectable, and referable company. Call 816-587-6148, or you can go to jrroofinginc.com. That's jrroofinginc.com.
This is Sally Field for Save the Children. We've all seen the devastation the hurricanes have wrought. Now imagine how we can make it better. Imagine all the children from the hurricanes feeling safe again.
Imagine all the children back with their families again. Imagine all the children going to school again.
Please help us create lasting change for children here at home and around the world. Call 1-800-SAVE-THE-CHILDREN or visit SaveTheChildren.org.
Imagine we can save the children.
Imagine.
Quietus contains homeopathic ingredients traditionally used to provide relief.
Do you have constant ringing in your ears? Does it drive you crazy? Maybe you hear that buzzing and it drowns out what other people are saying. It's impossible to focus. That ringing is the last thing you hear before you go to sleep. Let me guess. You're hearing that ringing right now. Millions of people suffer from tinnitus, that constant ringing in the ear. Now there's relief. It's called Quietus. Thousands of people have used Quietus to stop ringing in the ear, to stop that hissing sound. You'll love it. You won't have to ask people to repeat themselves. You won't have to sleep with loud fans. Finally, you'll be able to enjoy some peace and quiet. If you're suffering from tinnitus, I urge you to try Quietus.
Call right now for your risk-free trial of Quietus at 1-800-860-8518. That's 1-800-860-8518. Stop the ringing now. 1-800-860-8518. That's 1-800-860-8518.
Kansas City's talk station, Talk Radio 710, and now at 103.7 FM. The biggest names in talk radio, even easier to listen to. AM, FM, and online at KCMOTalkRadio.com. KCMO, feeding your mind 24/7. Information you trust, powered by Fox News. KCMO Talk Radio 710, now at 103.7 FM.
We are back, and you are listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7. If you enjoy listening to this music, you got to thank my producer, Tom Bamford. He especially seeked out this song just for me because I'm on the edge. Oh, my God, Tom, you're so great. All right, guys, we're having a moment here. So, guys, we're talking to John Gray right now. Fabulous author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. He is the relationship expert. And before the break, we were talking about his book, What You Feel, You Can Heal. So I want to get right back into that. After reading What You Feel, You Can Heal, and I've read this literally in our first month of marriage, okay? So we got married November of 2010. And I don't know if there's one answer to this, but do you think that the root of all problems in marriage stems from childhood issues?
Well, I think that I don't say there's ever any one thing, but major communication frustration, major sources of conflict all stem from our past. And the problem with looking at that in that perspective is that every challenge you have in the present time suddenly becomes a result of something in your past. And certainly your past affects everything in the now and in the future. It certainly affects. But what happens if you just keep focusing in the past, you don't also focus on how we're behaving as adults in present time. And that's why I evolved sort of from my book, What You Feel You Can Heal, which is learning how most of our inappropriate reactions in present time have to do with unresolved issues in our past. In my earlier work, I saw that most of the challenges individuals face is our inappropriate reactions to situations, which are magnified by unresolved issues in our past, but also our inability to correctly interpret what's happening in present time is also a source of frustration and miscommunication and a major source of problem, which then becomes exaggerated or amplified by unresolved issues of our past. So I combine both those things together.
Okay, so I love that you just said that, because yes, if all of our issues now are in some shape or form connected to something in the past, then whatever we're talking about right now, if you and I were in a relationship, let's just say, I could always say, oh, but this happened 10 years ago.
That's right. You can always do that.
You can, and I got to tell you, and my mother's probably going to kill me if she hears this, but I know that oftentimes when I've heard my parents argue, my mother will bring in stuff from like 1977. And I'm like, and I say to her, I go, it's done and over with. Some of these people are dead now. Like,
That's
why
right.
are you, why? And so what's I really want to hear this. Like, if you're right here, we're talking about 2012, and you and your spouse are talking about something. What do you suggest? Other than just sheer discipline and not talking and talking about the past, really, what are the steps to just stay in the now?
We all know that on one day we're going to react differently. Our partner makes a mistake or doesn't live up to our expectations. We're very gracious and we're embracing and we're accepting and know that everybody has off days, nobody's perfect. But on other days we become overly demanding. So we've identified one of those personality types I talked about in my book that you can help correct, which is that's the perfectionist, demanding perfection. People who demand perfection are very unhappy, and they can always blame everybody else for their unhappiness, but really they're the source of their unhappiness. So let's say that my wife always just kept looking at her own issues, and in that book I talk about how to overcome those issues. However, there's another way of dealing with it, is when the glass is there on the counter, to gently say to your husband, oh, honey, would you put that away? It's really nice when the kitchen is really clean, just for it to stay clean for a while. I know that dishes are going to pile up eventually, but whenever you see it looking nice, that's the time which is most important to put things in the dishwasher. Some kind of reasonable communication and a request. That's dealing with the problem in present time. So we've got present time solutions, and we have to know that sometimes, in a sense, we're overreacting to things, or we're not reacting from our highest self when we have unresolved issues in our past. So when you define between the two, if I could go to a therapist, for example, and learn how to deal with my past issues, or go to my therapist and learn, or go to an educator, actually, which could also be a therapist, and learn how to have better communication and behave as an adult, my recommendation would be first learn how to behave as an adult, because anybody who has wounds from the past do not have a role model of parents who behave like adults, healthy adults. So the first thing I want to learn is how to behave like a healthy adult and be responsible in my life to get what I need, react in a positive way, and have positive role models for that, at least positive pictures that I'm aiming towards. Then when I find I can't live up to that, then what I do is look at, okay, what's going on in my past that keeps me from being the person I want to be. So there's a balance there. And I went about it in my own life the backwards way. First, I did all this work on myself and helped people do work on themselves. And then I realized that they still had no positive role models of how to behave as adults. So they kept creating these problems. They kept dealing with them better, but they kept creating the problem. So fortunately, because of my own personal work for myself, I did have glimpses of what it meant to behave like a really adult person who was very loving, and began developing my Mars-Venus message, which is how men and women can be more compassionate, more understanding, and correctly interpret each other and behave in present time as loving, intelligent, caring people. Then when unreasonable ideas and reactions and so forth would come up, we now have the tools for dealing with them as well, which is what I covered in What You Feel You Can Heal.
Great book. And actually, John, I love what you said about the demanding perfectionist. I mean, I do have a confession to make that I am a recovering perfectionist and control freak.
Well, good for you.
Yes.
Excellent. And, when you mention control freak, then we have another issue here, which is as a expert in gender differences, which is really, and healing and transformation. I mean, that's my work's all about, of course. Yeah. But I really have a niche here, which is I understand men and women and how our brains are different, and hormones are different, and behaviors are different, and our history is different. And that's all really, really good stuff. There's other distinctions that it's helpful to understand as well. There's cultural differences, which are like really important. If your partner's from another culture and so forth, to understand, we can unknowingly step on each other's toes, not understanding that. That's something, we have courses in that for business as well now, which is cultural inclusiveness. But there's also just temperament types, and the temperaments have been discussed throughout every civilization throughout the past. And there's the thinkers, there's the supporters, there's the promoters, and there's the controllers. And these are temperaments. And people sort of are all a unique blend of, some people are primarily one, some people have three of them, so there's a learning to realize that it's the differences that come together that can create a better wholeness. And to trust in our attractions and our interests. We tend to be attracted to and interested in those people who help fill a gap in our own life. And the irony here is, to the extent that we feel an attraction to someone, it's because they embody some attribute that wants to grow inside of ourselves. And as that attribute begins to grow inside of ourselves, we will tend to, at times, resist our partners because we've been resisting that part of us, that part of them which is in ourselves. In gender terms, that means there's a tenderness and a softness and a vulnerability in my wife that's feminine. And as I love that part of her and respect that part of her, my own sensitivities are coming up. And I need to begin to honor that part of me as it comes forward.
I like to call that the mirror effect, that what you see in others,
yes,
whether you like it or dislike it, it is a mere reflection of yourself.
Yes, and those things that we really resist in others are often, we're just holding ourselves in that same place. One of my favorite cartoons, and What You Feel You Can Heal, and I know you remember it, is a woman who's dressed in a black dress, black hair, and she's pointing her finger up at her mother and saying, I'll never be like that lady. Yes. And her mother is pointing her finger up and saying, I'll never be like that lady. What we resist, we become.
Yes. Oh my God, I do remember that. And John, how can people find out more about you, your books, your workshops, your retreats?
Well, they can certainly go to MarsVenus.com and they can hear about it. I do retreats, actually weekend workshops at hotels in the Bay Area quite commonly, and they can find out more about that on MarsVenus.com. Also, for a variety of different challenges that couples face, I have a store where I recommend little 10-minute videos of different nutritional supplements that can certainly help.
Wow. Okay, and how can people, is that on the Mars Venus website?
Yeah, if you go to MarsVenus.com, there's a place called Shop.
Okay.
And there's videos of me, but there's also free videos of me talking about 30 supplements that I really see can help people in different ways that they can buy in stores or they can get at the store.
Yes, and you know what? I'm going to be seeing you in July because I'll be at the eWomen Conference.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so looking forward to being there.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to finally meeting you. And thank you so much for being on today. And I'm blown away. I had so many questions, but your answers answered so many of the questions that I had. So I really want to acknowledge you. Thank you so much for doing the work that you do. Thank you so much for being here and just really spending your time sharing all the work that you've done, your gift, which is really helping men and women just be healthy adults.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Man, he is, my God, I am so just kind of really still blown away at the stuff that he's talked about. And guys, this is, when you think about relationships, really, when you just boil down to why people don't really get along with each other, why it's so hard to communicate with other people. I mean, everything that John Gray was just talking about, at the end of the day, your relationship with other people is a direct reflection of the relationship that you have with yourself, period. That's it. So I really, I'm going to take all of this awesome information and just really look at other areas of my life. Where else can I apply this to? Because I think the minute we can learn to communicate with ourselves from a place of kindness and compassion and just acceptance, that's really what I was thinking about this morning. What would it be like if every single one of us just truly accepted ourselves? And it is a journey. What would be possible? What would be available if we just loved ourselves, every single ounce of us, So I mean, wow, I'm so happy. Just the interview went great. I really hope you guys got a lot from it. I know you did. I know I did. So when we get back, we're gonna really just keep talking about the Source Coaching Program. Really just recap what we just talked about. You're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710 AM and also 103.7 FM.
KCMO Talk Radio 710 and now on FM at 103.7. If your biggest problem with Sean Hannity was getting him at work, there's no more excuse.
Look, I don't care what you do, where you start out. If you work hard, 2 jobs, 6 days a week, maybe 7, you're going to be able to get ahead. I know it's a tough job market right now. It is. But that can change on election night when Mitt Romney is announced as the 45th president.
The Sean Hannity Show, weekdays 2 to 5 on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and now 103.7 FM.
Behind every child with special needs is a family facing a variety of challenges. The Special Needs Planning Center offers guidance in a variety of areas: social security, guardianship, legal and financial, strategic plans to ensure quality of care for your loved one with special needs. The Special Needs Planning Center. Call 816-741-1100 and schedule an appointment or register for an upcoming workshop. See the snpcenter.com. Securities and advisory services offered through National Planning Corporation. The Special Needs Planning Center and NPC are separate and unrelated companies. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Attention parents. If your son is 11 to 17 years old and exhibits oppositional or defiant behavior patterns, we want to prove that our best-selling child behavior program, The Total Transformation, will work for you. And we're willing to give it to you for free. For a limited time, we are offering the entire program free if you're the parent of an 11 to 17-year-old male child as part of a national market research project. If you're struggling with disrespect, backtalk, lying, school problems, or defiant behavior, you can get the Total Transformation free by calling 1-888-535-3844. Call now and find out how you can participate in this limited-time market research project. By sending in your results, you'll get our $300 child behavior program for free. Limited number of free programs available. Call now, 1-888-535-3844. 1-888-535-3844. That's 1-888-535-3844. 1-888-535-3844.
Did I really retire? Did I really do this? Am I really a retired person?
This is Nadine Peterson on her first day of retirement.
I thought I would be very sad about it, but I wasn't sad at all. I know I'm classified as a senior citizen, but I don't feel like a senior citizen. Retirement is just another phase in life, okay? Most people today live to work, and it shouldn't be like that. We should work to live. And now I can live.
This is day one, the first of over 6,000 days most of us will enjoy in retirement. At Prudential, we create retirement solutions and partner with financial professionals everywhere to make sure you're ready for every one of them. Prudential. Bring your challenges. Contact your financial professional today to learn more. Prudential Financial Incorporated, Newark, New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Today's interest rates are the lowest that we've seen in generations. The rate today on a 30-year fixed mortgage is an amazing 3.99%, APR 4.22%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN. We'll help you keep more of that hard-earned money in your pocket where it belongs. Maybe that's why for the second year in a row, J.D. Power & Associates ranked Quicken Loans highest in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination in the United States. And here are just some of the many reasons why. We close many of our loans in 30 days or less, and we provide you with industry-leading online apps designed to guide you through the loan process with speed and ease. Again, today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage is an amazing 3.99%, APR 4.22%. So give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit us at QuickenLoans.com and find out for yourself why we're engineered to amaze.
For J.D. Power and Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hey, it's Mike Rome here with Fiona, a service advisor at Ford. You know what this is? Go ahead, Fiona, tell them.
$100 bill.
Ford is having some sort of big tire event. What are you guys calling it?
The big tire event.
Well, there it is. You've got all kinds of brands, and there's a $100 rebate?
Yes, there is.
Buy 4 select tires, get a $100 rebate. That's on top of the low price tire guarantee.
It's a big event.
It's enormous?
It is.
Ginormous?
Ginormous.
Competitors ad required for tire guarantee. Offer cannot be combined. See participating Ford dealer. Visit FordOwner.com for rebate details through 5/31/12.
Greg Knapp.
Coming up Monday on the show, are we going to get involved with a no-fly zone in Syria? And I've got an update for you on Emmanuel Cleaver's $1,900 car that you're paying for. KCMO Morning Show with Greg Knapp.
Oh my God, guys. Welcome back. I am like sitting here waving my hands in the studio because I absolutely love Bob Marley, especially No Woman, No Cry. I mean, my producer, he does. He looks for songs that I love, and he's on a mission, and I love it. It's so great. It makes my Sunday. So we just finished talking to John Gray on relationships, and so much of what we talked about is the work that I do with people as, one-on-one and now in groups. For the past few years, I've been working with people individually. And it's because of my current clients and my past clients that my business has expanded. And the demand for transformational coaching has increased. And after coaching nearly 1,000 hours and hundreds of beautiful souls, I know one thing for sure, that people want community. People want to know that they're not alone. Part of my personal story that I shared with you last week is that I thought I was crazy. I'm like, okay, I'm the only person that's experiencing whatever I'm experiencing. I'm not talking about having a label or diagnosis, but just some of the our thoughts, our fears, we just walk around thinking I'm all alone. No one else is experiencing this. And it's a very lonely place to be, which is why I created the Source of Your Success coaching group. Let's just look at what John Gray talked about. We talked about looking at yourself, and what you resist in other people is actually a part of yourself that you're resisting or not willing to look at. We talked about how, letting your past, how that, if you allow it to, your past will run your life. So my goal for the Source of Your Success coaching group is that people become and transform into beings that are crystal clear and focused, not determined by anything that happened in the past, and not being driven by things or, by circumstances or stuff that people have told them. So effective, I'm starting June 20th would be the first. We're going to do 10 sessions. It's a 3-month program. Okay. And I'm doing it to serve my clients more effectively. And this new, my intention in starting this coaching group was really because I wanted to be able to serve more people. And as you may or may not know, one-on-one is awesome. I get to learn so much from my clients, and obviously, they get the benefits of working with me. But I really, like I said, I'm really all about community and having people help each other. And I just, this is my life's work, is to bring awesome, like-minded entrepreneurs together who are put on this planet to serve humanity in a big way. So, like I said, you can give me a call. You can learn more about the program. My number is 913-951-1764. I'm always up for a great conversation to learn more about you and how I can help you. Because it's time. It's time for you to shift your perception of yourself and the life around you. It's time for you to calm your mind and increase your peace by starting a step-by-step journey to your true self. It's time for you to deliberately focus your energy in a single direction so you can gain the confidence from the daily progression that you will see. This morning I was thinking, wow, it's May 6th. Is it May 6th? Yeah, it's May 6th. And when I first signed up to be on the radio, I was only going to do 13 weeks. Okay, because I'm like, I don't know how it's going to turn out. And I'm happy to say, today's my 13th week, and I've actually re-signed so that I could be on for another 13 weeks because this is a lot of fun. If I can touch even one person every Sunday with this work, and when I say this work, I'm talking about keeping it real, being honest, being truthful, talking to your soul, not just, talking around you, but really talking to you. If the work that I'm doing allows you to look inwards and get slightly uncomfortable and see that there's no more room for it to keep looking the way it's looking, for you to stop letting yourself off the hook, for you to not tolerate you being less than your best, then my work is done. I had someone email me last week after the show and said, "Thank you so much. Your story touched my soul. You were speaking right to me." That was it. My day was made. Actually, my week was made. And I actually spoke to this man that emailed me, and he's a wonderful man. So it's really good to know that this work is touching people, and that's really why I'm here. I'm here to serve you in any way that I can, the way that I know to be is authentic for me. And I know one thing. I know that what I didn't receive is what I want to give. And what I want to give humanity is the knowing that I am here for you, to support you, and to help you. And next week, you guys are going to love my guest. She's my coach, Susie Carter. Not only is she an award-winning author, speaker, and trainer to business owners, but she is a self-made multimillionaire with a passion for making a difference in the lives of people that she touches. She's also the president of Lisa Nichols' company, Motivating the Masses. And like I said, on a personal note, she's my coach, and I'm so excited to have her on the show. She has a book called From Bootstrap to Big Time. It pretty much sums up her life journey, and she's on here. Her mission is to teach people how to attain financial freedom in their life. And I'm really excited for her to be on next week. So you guys know that you can reach me at 913-951-1764. Email me at info@vasavikumar.com. Until next time, you're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. And don't forget, be kind to yourself.